this is Ann Bozenius. Did you get my message earlier?
Yeah, I got it.
Do you know who in the heck I am?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember my father?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Real well.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. I was in contact with Lenny Wise, and he told me, he said, you were in my dad's company, the previous company or something, and he said you were certainly a nice guy that I should contact you. And I don't know.
Yeah.
This summer I called him, and nowadays you don't know if these World War II guys are still living or are dead, and you feel bad about calling their spouses and say, can I talk to somebody?
Yeah, I know.
And I've been wanting to call you, and I'm a school teacher, and golly, the school year's been busy as can be. And sat down, I watched that movie Private Ryan last night. I said, God, I gotta call you today, and thought, God, if nothing else, I just want to talk to you and see if you have any good memories of my dad.
Oh, yeah, I knew him very well,
Uh-huh.
But it's been so many years ago.
It's been a long time ago, hasn't it?
Yeah, we had our reunion in August, and I think we had 4 veterans there.
I think that's what Lenny told me. He said there's...
Lenny couldn't come because his health isn't very good.
Yeah, and then he told me to talk to Lester Pinnock. Now, that guy's a funny man. Oh, gosh, he's got a lot of spunk.
He was there. Lester was there at our reunion in Virginia, in August. You know how old Lester is?
He said he was 92 or 91.
Yeah, yeah.
I talked to him, and then he said, I was working yet this morning, and he had I guess he's an upholsterer. He used to,
years and years ago, Lester Penix, he drove a truck, and he used to come up from, I guess, South Carolina, Georgia, wherever he lives down here. No, North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
And I'm looking around it right now. He went to South North Carolina, and he used to drive a truck up and through New Jersey, where we live up here, But then after the war, I guess he got into the upholstery business, and he still works.
Well, he told me that actually it was this summer when I started looking through Dad's stuff, and, we don't, Dad has, we're one of 3 girls. Dad had only 3 daughters and stuff, and,
we have 2 daughters.
And none of us know a thing about medals, but I do have one sister, and she married an Air Force man. He's a military, he's a career man. But a lot of times, well, that's different. That's a different branch. Excuse, you know how that stuff goes. It's like that. That's Air Force versus Army. It's like, can you tell me what that means? I don't know what that means. And I'm like, okay, fine.
You contacted Leonard,
Right.
Leonard Wise.
Yes.
And then he wrote to me, and my wife and I and Leonard and Mary Lou, we were pretty friendly.
Well, good. I'm glad to know that.
Yeah, all these years, And he called me when he sent me a letter. He called me and told me that you had contacted him, and so I sent Leonard some pictures of Bozenius.
I got some of those. I guess if they were from you, I don't know. But Lenny sent me some pictures, and they were some.
I sent Leonard more, and I don't know whether he sent them to you. Have you contacted him lately?
I wrote him a letter about last week thanking him for the batch of pictures he sent me. There were some pictures of in France and some pictures of the guys in Japan, and I didn't see any pictures of you. And your name wasn't on anything I don't think Dad ever had. And then we had pictures. My mom was looking through a bunch of pictures, and she was trying to clean out a lot of things. And I sent a bunch of those pictures to Lenny, and he identified a number of those guys, but a lot of them he said he didn't know. Now, Mom always said Dad was in a different company before he went with the 46th. So was that your company? You guys were in a different company?
I was in the 95th.
You were in the 95th.
Yeah, and they broke us up, and we formed they took 95th, they broke us up, and we formed about 4 different other companies, the 46th, 45th, 47th, 48th, 49th, and we went to different parts of the country, and then we wound up we went from Texas to Florida,
Okay, I think that's where Dad did too.
Yeah, and I don't know, where did he come from originally?
He's from Missouri. We're from Missouri.
I know, but when he was in Missouri.
Was it Tennessee? I think it was Tennessee.
Well, then maybe did he join us was he in the 95th?
I don't ever know which one he was in. He never said anything about it all the time. And then Mom said, oh, he was in some other company. After they started doing this 46th reunion, both him and Mom had talked about it. He said, I don't know a lot of these guys. I was with a different company beforehand, and we didn't know anything, and Dad didn't ask.
I was in the 95th, and I was in a cadre that went out to form the 46th.
Okay.
I knew your father very well,
So were you in the 95th then together with him, or was it the 46th?
I don't know, it's so many years ago.
Some days you try to forget all that, I'm sure.
No, not really, but, this reunion, I think there was more veterans there.
Yeah, that's what Lenny told me. He said it seems to be more and more family that's there than the veterans.
Right. Matter of fact, Susan Baker, her father, is dead now. He was in our outfit. And then Nancy, what's Nancy's name there? Nancy Pearson. Her father's still alive. And them two ladies, Gibson, they run our reunions,
Okay.
Leonard run it for years. But I didn't go to the reunions for years and years and years. And because we moved when I came out of service, I moved from where I lived in Maplewood, New Jersey. And they lost track of me.
Ah.
But then we moved down where we are now, and I joined the American Legion. And we come home one time, and the announcement was in there for the 46th, we're at the reunion, And so I called Leonard, and then we went, and that's, I guess, mid-'80s or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dad had never gone, and because it was always on the East Coast, and it was kind of far away and expensive.
Why they kept it on the East Coast? Because most of the outfits from our company, they were Georgia, Florida, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, some from New Jersey, some from Pennsylvania. So they kept it in that area because it was easier to travel.
Well, sure, you can imagine if you're going to get some people to come, you might as well get where most of the guys are going to come, stuff like that.
I'd like to give you a name. He's got a real good memory. He's like Lester Penning. if you want to contact him.
Okay, I'd love to.
You would? Okay, his name is John.
Okay, let me write this down. All right.
Whitaker, W-O-D-I-C-K-A.
W-O-D-I...
D-K-A.
Okay. And do you have a phone number for him?
Yeah, I'll give you his address. He lives at 122 Laurelwood Road. It's Laurelwood.
Okay.
And it's Groton, Connecticut.
Grot.
Groton.
Connecticut.
And the zip code is 4275. I'll give you his phone number.
4275. There should be another number on that zip code. 427.
Here's the whole zip code. It's 06340.
063.
4275.
Wait, say that again. 0634.
06340.
Uh-huh.
Dash 4275.
Okay. And his phone number?
And they got it in here. 860-445-6329.
And he would remember stories about Dad?
I'm sure he would, because this guy's got him and Lester Pennix. They got such good memories, and because John and we went to a reunion down in Virginia, maybe 10, 12 years ago, and he didn't know about it, and I didn't know about it, but we found out through the magazine, and I hadn't seen him in 40 or 50 years, whatever it was.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I walked into the lobby, and him and his wife were just checking in. Oh, he said, hiya, Sergeant Noyes, how are you, And he knew me right away.
Wow.
But he had a very good memory.
So were you in the 95th, or you don't remember?
In the 95th, and then he wasn't in the 95th, but I don't know where he come from.
You guys just all landed together, didn't you?
Yeah, we all landed together.
sure, that's fine. I was going to ask you some stories about Dad, if you have a good memory, or if you know.
I don't have that much. You know, it's so many years ago.
Yeah, if he
I knew your father very well.
was he a good guy? Wasn't he a sergeant?
Oh, he was a good guy.
Wasn't he a sergeant or tech sergeant?
He was a sergeant, and I was head of the platoon, and he was in my platoon. And then when I left, and there was another good friend of ours from Texas, Eddie Ringo. Your father knew him very well.
I remember him talking about him.
Oh, Eddie Ringo?
Yeah.
He went overseas. I'll tell you a story about Eddie Ringo. He went overseas with some infantry outfit. He was wounded, and he received the Silver Star.
Wow.
He was sent back to the United States, and he was assigned to our outfit, and he went back overseas again.
He went back a second time?
Yes.
He was a brave sucker, wasn't he?
No, he didn't have any choice.
He didn't have a choice.
No, they just assigned him to that outfit and our outfit, and he went back overseas with us.
Were you guys in the Battle of the Bulge, or were you not in the Bulge?
No, we weren't in that. We weren't in any battles. What we did was over in Germany. Well, we landed in Le Havre, France, and then we went up through France, and we wound up in Belgium for quite a while, and then we went into Germany. But we were in a signal company, and what we did, we were about 5 or 6 miles behind the front lines, and we rehabilitated the telephone lines that the Germans had knocked out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that was our job.
So were they constantly knocking them out every day, or not?
Well, no, as they retreated, they knocked down the telephone lines, and then after the invasion, and then we had to go up through France and Belgium and Germany, we had to rebuild the communications for the frontline troops.
Mm-hmm. Now, who was it? Was it Penix, I think, was telling me? He said sometimes the worst part was when you were driving around in your Jeeps, the little snipers that, I guess...
Oh, yeah.
Or the minefields? Yeah.
And sometimes the guys were working on the telephone poles, and the snipers would shoot at them.
And they would just shoot at them off the poles. Is that how? Oh, my gosh.
So one time we had this little kid from Texas, Hess his name was, and he come down off a pole. I had put some stuff at the ground for him to take up the pole, you know.
Uh-huh.
When he come down off the pole, he stepped on a landmine and blew his leg.
Oh, isn't that awful? Oh, for heaven's sakes! So you weren't in any battles then, as like they held any of the bridges. They talked about some of the bridges and stuff.
No, we weren't in any of the battles, but we were about 5, 6 miles behind the front lines.
Now, what
Working on telephone lines as the Germans retreated.
have you been to Europe since you've come back, or not?
No. But one of our friends, I think his name was Liam. I forget his first name. He went back in, him and his wife, and he come to one of our reunions, and he told us all about the steps that he went through, everything, where we had gone,
Uh-huh.
And in England, he went to this pub that we used to hang out when we were in England.
Yeah.
And he started buying a couple of people drinks, right? And all of a sudden, the whole went out that, hey, the Americans here buying drinks, and everybody's better running to this tavern. And he said they had to get up, but they had a good time.
Oh, that's good. It's nice to hear good stuff.
Whitaker.
Okay.
That guy has got, you got his name in Anderson.
Okay, I'll give him a call.
He has one of the better memories than all of them.
Wow. That's...
Let me put my wife on and say hello to you.
Okay.
And because we have 2 daughters, they're school teachers.
Well, it must be the thing that we kids do, huh?
Thank you for calling, and it's so nice talking to you.
Well, I want to ask you one more question. What did you do when you you went to Japan then too, right?
Yes, we went through Marseille, we went through the Panama Canal, Philippine Islands.
Well, what did you do when you celebrated VE Day, when you found out you won in Europe?
We were about 100 miles or so off of Guam, and when everything's going off on the ships, whistles and everything. And we thought they were going to take us into New York, but we went on to the Philippine Islands. They put us in the Army occupation. And when we left the Philippine Islands, I don't know what Lester told you, but we were caught in that typhoon that hit Okinawa, where they shipped a lot of this big ships were washed up on shore because it was such a bad storm.
Okay.
And we were on the water for 17 days. It was normally a 7-day trip. And I was the master sergeant, so on the ship I slept with the chief petty officers and that, you know.
Okay.
And this one old chief says, boy, you know, he's an old Navy guy. He says to me, boy, this is the worst storm I've ever had. I've been in some of Cape Hatteras, you know, in North Carolina.
Right.
Yeah. So here, I'll put, you know, your father and all guys, you know, and we're coming up through France into Germany. This is a good story.
Oh, I like good stories. Okay.
And the guys got wine, and they all broke all the wine onto the trucks, you know. And then we wound up in Worms, Germany, where the Luftwaffe trained their flyers, you know.
Yes.
And every time, all the guys getting out of the back of the trucks, they're all drunk as hell. Falling out of the trucks, and that company commander says, boy, if we had an assignment now, boy, we'd be in bad shape. And we went all through from France up into Belgium, Germany, and then all back to Marseille in southern France, where they reprocessed and sent us to the Pacific. They were still finding wine bottles in the trucks.
Oh my gosh, you must have had a bunch of wine that night. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Well, see, now Dad tells me.
Well, I'm talking to you, you know, our daughter was been over there in Germany years and years ago, and we have a few Hummels that she sent back.
Yeah, oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah, and I say to my wife, boy, oh boy, you know, if I knew then what I know now, I would have got a lot of Hummels and sent them home. They're worth a lot of money.
You could retire. I mean, hopefully you are retired, but.
You know, hey, I'm no kid no more.
Yeah?
How old do you think I am?
Well, I bet you're about 75 or 80, because my dad would be about 80. I think Dad would be 83.
I'm 84.
84, okay.
Yeah, I'm still playing golf 3 days a week.
Well, God love you for that. Man, keep going. There's no question.
Okay, I'll put my wife on.
Okay.
Enjoy talking to you. Okay, real nice talking.
Thanks for all your help.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
I'm glad I could speak with you. You know a lot of the stories then, too, huh?
Right, because I just reminded him about the wine.
Oh.
I always thought that was a good one.
That's a good one. That's a real good one.
Right.
Does he have any other stories he remembers or not?
Yeah, well, that one story when you looked in you know, the convent.
Okay, well, tell me that one.
That's in England. Tell her that one. I'll let him tell you.
Okay.
Back again.
Yeah, that's good.
No, we wound up in England. We landed in Scotland, and they took us by rail over to England. And we were into a Catholic convent, and, you know, that's where they have no heat in our place, you know.
Right.
And that was really something.
There were no nuns left anymore. It was all out.
Oh, they were so gone. Everything, they just put one of our troops in there. It was cold. They had a few fireplaces. That's about all they had in the place.
Well, I was telling Lenny Wise, he didn't know, my dad was, we're Catholic, and he didn't know Dad was Catholic, and I think Lenny Wise is Catholic too.
Lenny's Catholic.
And he had no idea that Dad was Catholic, and I said, well, not only is he Catholic, I said, he has 3 sisters that are nuns. Yeah, and he said, oh my gosh, he didn't even know that Dad was Catholic all those years. I said, well, maybe he didn't practice too much while he was over there. I said, well, you know,
They didn't have too much time for religion.
I think you were just happy to keep yourself together, weren't you?
Okay, put her back in.
Well, hey, here's another story. Dad always talked about when, I think it was in Heidelberg or something, maybe you remember this. And he said they were going to, maybe it wasn't in Heidelberg, it was somewhere in Germany. They were going to take a town, and he told his guys, he said, if we get this town, we'll get into that brewery, and we'll have one hell of a party. Do you remember that one, or maybe that was the wine?
I remember that. That and the wine.
Where was that, in Heidelberg?
It was in Heidelberg, yeah.
It was in Heidelberg. So did you get a little stupid that night or not?
A little bit.
If you did, something was wrong.
Yeah, we were all young and crazy.
Well, that's good, though.
Another thing, as we were working on these telephone lines, the B-2 bombers were coming out of England, and they're flying over us, and their back end of the bombers was low, with the bombs.
Yeah,
and then they'd go in about 6-7 miles ahead of us, and we could hear the bombs going off and off and off, and then we could see the planes returning to England, and the bottoms wasn't low, they were high, because they had dropped all their load, But it was quite an experience.
Oh man, we kids nowadays don't have a clue what you folks been to. So you got Veterans Day tomorrow. Hopefully you're going to have somebody that honors you and celebrates that with you tomorrow. But well, thank you for everything you done.
Okay, here she is.
Okay.
Hi.
So you got another good story?
No, I can't think of any more. But we did go back to Florida when, I don't know if your father was there too.
He was in
Oh,
Florida.
he was there.
Yeah.
Okay, we went back to Camp Murphy with our two daughters, and
She brings back a lot of memories. And we were before we went overseas.
And what did you do down there now? You just got into training and stuff?
Training, yeah. Training there before we went overseas. And then they brought us up to Orangeburg, New York, and put us on a boat. That was, overseas. But, so after I got discharged, when the kids were born, and we went down to Florida, and we stopped there. And the government gave the land to the state, and it's now the Johanna-Dixon State Park. It's a state park. And we went back in and tried to find the barracks where we had stayed, And we found them, but the barracks were all knocked down, but the concrete slabs were there,
Mm-hmm.
And we had a picnic lunch on one of the slabs where I used to sleep.
Now, isn't that something? What do the kids think about that?
Huh?
What your kids think about that?
Well, they were very young. I think one was 3 and one was 5 or 6.
Is that still a park down there or not?
Yeah, it's a state park now.
It is a state park.
State park right along Route 1, and I guess it's to west of Jupiter, down in that area.
Oh, Jupiter, that's where the St. Louis Cardinals play, so that would be like might know about that around here. Yeah, I'm from outside of St. Louis, so Jupiter is where the Cardinals do their spring training. Yeah. Okay. You got another memory for me?
I was trying to think of another memory, but there was something like at the railroad. What was that when we went there? My cousin lived in that area, and it was the name on the station, South Camp Murphy or something, yeah, on that, at the railroad.
Uh-huh.
At the railroad, yeah. But a lot of memories.
Well, did those guys have any encounters with the, Patton or Bob Hope or Hitler or any Hitler's men? Do you know?
I don't think so. Did you have any encounters with Bob Hope? No, never saw him.
What about Patton or Hitler?
Patton or Hitler? No.
No?
No, I don't think so. General Clark.
General Clark, okay. All right. Well, I was going to ask your husband if my dad had a girlfriend or a Fraulein. We always kid him about his little Fraulein or his German or French girlfriends over there.
No, his father. Her father. Well, he was married, wasn't he?
No, he never got married till after the war.
Oh, after the war. doesn't know.
He won't.
Because I was going with him, but I wasn't married.
He won't tell. He won't tell secrets 50 years later, will he?
Won't tell.
That's good. Keep those secrets. That's important.
No secret.
Did he get in? Did they get into any concentration camps, or do you know?
I don't think they were in any concentration. Do you? No.
Are there any?
No, I don't think so.
Are there any books out that are written
I've never seen any books about it.
about the, that what those guys did? A lot of there's different stories about different
Right.
different groups or different companies.
No,
Anything
we
about
didn't
these signal?
destroy anything. The only thing I was thankful that, because I always wondered why we never heard, after the war from anybody. And then when I saw that reunion in the book, I said to him, you have to call. You have to call. And then when he called, and it was Leonard, and he was the youngest one in that group.
Lenny was?
Yes, and he remembered Walter. Oh, he was so happy to hear from him.
Good.
And we went, and we have gone every year.
So you've been going almost 20 years?
Well, no. Well, we were living here we're starting our 17th year here, where we are now. And it was when we came here that I saw it. So I say we've been going 16 years.
Yeah. Well, we pulled out some stuff. I'm real interested in World War II, and my other sisters, two of them could care less, and the one, well, she kind of comes and goes with the tide. And Dad has all these medals, and as kids we used to play with them. We weren't allowed to play with them, but we'd sneak in and we'd look at them and uncover them. And I finally pulled them out, I guess this summer, and I said, Mom, did you have any idea what any of these medals mean? She said, no, I don't know what any of them meant. So I looked on the internet, and, with the VFW and the American Legion, and I found out what most of them meant, but there was one medal on there, and it looked like it was when you compare it to the Silver Star, it was a red, white, and blue medal, and I have no idea what it was, and we still can't figure out what the heck that was, and I don't know if Dad I don't think he got a Silver Star, but I just would like to know what that medal is or meant or something.
You know what, Walter, from when he came home, his parents had moved, and he may have sent that stuff home, and we don't have it.
You don't have any of his medals?
No.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Well, and then we checked with the with the U.S. military or something, because that's here in St. Louis, the Army, whatever the Army. U.S. Army something or another is, and all that there was in '75, I believe, the whole records company burnt down.
Right.
And so
because we couldn't even get his discharge.
Right. Well, I took copies of the discharge. We're about an hour from St. Louis. I took copies of the discharge papers and everything that they had, and they said, you have more information than what we have. So they made copies. They said, well, we'll keep that on file in case you want to know any stuff. And I said, we have all the information. They said, well, in case you lose it. So.
Oh, that's good.
But, yeah, and it's a shame because, people, it's unfortunate, probably your daughters, as time goes on, want to know a little more information.
I think that it's true. Like one has one boy and the other has two boys.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure that eventually, but they never talked too much about it.
Well, and Dad never spoke. He didn't say hardly anything about it. Maybe your husband does the same thing. They just didn't talk about it,
Well, when we go to the reunion, that is where you hear a lot.
Well, and that, they said, Lenny Wise said that Susan Baker, and I contacted her, and she said she would give me some information. It's the first week in August, usually. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so it's usually on the East Coast sometime.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so hopefully.
It would be wonderful if you
Oh,
could come.
yeah, it would be nice. So we'll have to.
Everybody is so nice. I mean, when we went, we didn't know anybody, or I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, just like wonderful.
That's nice.
It was wonderful.
Oh, that's really
And
nice.
Ed Lord, that was Walter's, what was it? His company commander. He comes all the time, and he's such an unassuming man.
And see, Lenny Wise gave me his name to call. I was going to give him a call too, but I don't have his phone number. His phone number I have is wrong. Do you have his phone number?
Oh, do you have? I was going to get it. 'Cause,
Okay.
I do email him.
Oh, send you some pictures that I had of my dad that I sent to Lenny Wise of.
Oh, okay.
I can certainly do that for you.
Okay, now Lord, let me find him on these addresses, but I'll go in on my computer and
Well, I'll tell you what, if you give me your email, then I will go ahead and email you, and then you can send me all that stuff. How's that sound?
I have to look that up. I'm not too good on the computer. Hold on, okay?
All right. Okay, good. LOMYLORD at AOL.
L-R-D.
Just Lord. Say that one more time.
L-O-M-Y-L-R-D.
Okay, got it. Okay, and
Nancy Pearson. You want her?
yes. Okay, and do you have Ed Lord's phone number? That's the phone number I had from Lenny Wise, and it didn't work this afternoon when I tried. I'll have to try again. My, I had, 2713 North Fields Road, Charlottesville.
How about Baker?
I have hers too, yes.
Okay.
I have all those.
Good.
Well, this is wonderful. I'll be in contact with you then. I'll send you some stuff this afternoon, and then if you and your husband can identify any of these people on this picture, send it back to me.
Oh, now let me get a pen and write your email.
Okay.
Hold on to that. Okay, I have it.
Mine's Ann, A-N-N,
A-N-N.
B, as in Bolzenius.
B for boy?
Yes.
Okay.
At usmo.com.
Okay.
And then if you want my phone number in case?
Okay. Now you're in
Bolzenius. Want me to spell that? Want me to spell that good name?
That good name.
B-O-L-Z-E-N.
Z-E-N.
Z as in zebra.
Oh, Z-E-N.
Yes. I-U-S.
I-U-S.
Phone number is 636-239-0276.
Okay, Ann.
Well, it was certainly nice to speak with you.
Very nice.
You made my day. You made my day. So
Oh, good.
you tell your husband.
Birthday.
Well, you tell your husband Happy Veterans Day and thank him for sharing all that information with me.
Right, and how's your mom doing?
She's doing well. Yeah,
Oh, good.
she's
Wonderful.
she's a good trooper. So.
Oh, that's great. Well, it's nice, and that gives her an interest, too.
Yeah, so I'll share all this information with her, and she's tickled because she says, I dated your dad during the war, and I knew some things, but I just didn't know a lot. And she was real pleased when I shared all the information from Lenny Wise and Lester Pinnix. And I told her this afternoon, she just left here, and I said, I got to call these guys. I said, I called earlier this morning, and I guess maybe they were, eating breakfast or had gone to church or something. Yeah. And I said, well, I'll call this afternoon or this evening. Usually Sundays is a good time to reach people, too.
It is. Very good. Well, good hearing.
Well, you take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.